Hey guys, Cindy back here with another video to disturb and annoy you. You know, the LDS Church, they believe that if you're part of the LDS Church, you are elect, which means that you fought harder in the war in heaven than anybody else, and thereby earning a right to be part of the LDS Church. And with being so elect, you were given a specific mission to come down here to do. And if you don't do it, lives are going to be ruined. Things are not going to happen in their life the way, as in, if your son doesn't go on a mission and baptize a certain person in Peru, their entire ancestry chain is going to be affected. Just a little bit of guilt in there, right? So, a few years ago, I decided that my mission was to disturb and annoy people, and that's what I tell people if they have the guts to come up and talk to me about it, which most of them don't. But we are going to disturb and annoy you about fruits today. A lot of people like to bring that up when you're talking about things, when you're going against their belief systems. Well, where's the fruit? Well, where's the fruit? Because in what? Matthew 7:20? Is it that Matthew 7:20? Jesus says, by their fruits, you shall know them. So, got people looking for fruits. So, the problem is the word fruits is so convoluted now, so convoluted. We have the LDS Church. The LDS Church fruits are monetary. Why is that? It's because they're a corporation. They are a business that has a religious branch. But by and far, they are all about accumulating wealth, not to share with their members, for them and their corporation. They have trickled down, though, in their belief systems with saying that I have literally heard many talks, oh my gosh, all having to do with money. If you want to know who's paying a full tithe in the LDS Church, just drive down the street and you can tell. Yep, I've heard that one. I think my favorite one, I never did it, but my favorite one a few years ago was pay tithing on the money, the amount of money you want to be making. Oh my gosh, that's all I can say. Needless to say, their fruits are all monetary. The LDS Church has no fruits of the Spirit. No fruits of the Spirit. They say that they have the priesthood, yet nothing really happens in the priesthood. No, it's just something they have, and they put their hands on you and set you apart for different callings and stuff. But when it comes to healing, raising people from the dead, speaking a word of knowledge, yeah, they're severely lacking in that area. The Catholics, I don't know what they would consider a fruit, because their church, when we've gone to their masses, I think it's really cool because they're very ritualistic. Everything is done a certain way. If the Father does have any words, it's right at the end, and they're very few. I'm imagining that they look at their fruits as the size of their church, maybe. The Christians, on the other hand, which is a very, very loose term, because once you tell somebody you're a Christian, then you have to dig, because every Christian church you go to believes different things. They really do. They just cannot get on board with what, if you're not one, you're not mine. That definitely don't probably recite that very often. But the Christians look for their fruit in the fruits of the Spirit. The trouble being is that one church will believe in tongues. One church will believe in deliverance. One church will believe in words of knowledge. And other churches won't believe in that at all. One church believes in dreams, the other church totally doesn't believe in dreams. They can't get on board with what their fruits actually are. But they're of the Spirit. Because Christians do not care if they have to meet in a shack. They are not very worldly with their meeting houses compared to the LDS people. But they're also off the charts with what their fruits are. All I can see for the fruits. So the Christian fruits from Paul, because I don't know how Paul became their savior, but Paul. All I see the fruits of Paul being is confusion. Because nobody knows what anybody believes. The fruits of Joseph Smith's is absolute pride. Are either one of those fruits anything you really, really want to take back to heaven with you? Now, I will give the LDS Church one thing, and that is they are consistent. Of course, it is a business, so consistency is best. But if you go to a church, say you're out of town, say you're in another country, you go to that church, most likely within a week or so, because of different conferences, they are teaching the same thing to everybody. They don't change. Now, like I said, there might be a week in between, but they do not change what they're doing. They're very systematic that way. So the fruits of Christianity, absolute confusion. That's from Paul. Because they took what Paul said here and there and they cherry picked it and just turned it into a mess. And there is, I don't even know Catholics that are as prideful as Mormons. They literally, from their lips to my ears, when we left, I was told that because I'm no longer part of the church, I will not make it to the celestial kingdom and I will be their servant. That's a great thing to say. It'll be great when I can look at them in the face and say, guess you were wrong. But tell me about the fruits. I don't see any fruits, because you know where the fruits he's talking about in Matthew 7:20 are? They're fruits from him. They are fruits inside of you. Christ is not going to give you something of this world as a fruit, because everything in this world goes away. Nothing is made to last. So when he gives you a fruit, it's going to be a fruit that you can keep. And that fruit that you're keeping inside of you, you probably won't even care if you run around and tell everybody. Fruits of peace. You don't walk in and say, hey, everybody, I'm feeling really peaceful today. No, but it's a gift because of him. Not because of something you did in this world, because of him. So, quit looking for fruits on the outside and start praying for fruits on the inside. And you'll see a huge shift in your life. Till next time, remember, Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. It's time to believe him.